Hello, friends. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Hi.
Glad to have you here. Okay, that's enough for today. Bye. Forgive me, I just came in. I'm still a little out of breath. Last couple of days been just kicking my butt. Kate, too, she was having some problems here yesterday. She even had to get on my little portable oxygen machine for a little while. She was kind of having some difficulty breathing.
Hello, Miss Amy. It's good to see you.
Which certainly got my attention. Hi, Amy.
Yeah,
Thank you for being here.
I was definitely having a little trouble yesterday, but I'm better today. Hi, Tracy. It's good to see you.
Hi, Tracy.
Hi, Brett.
Oh, how you doing, Brett? Things going okay for you? Been kind of watching some of your progress lately, and seems like you guys are kind of sort of getting back to normal. Well, post 2 hurricanes normal. Thank you, Amy, for your prayers.
Hi, Lisa.
Do appreciate it. Hi, Lisa. Kate came up.
Ruth. Hi, Josh.
Kate came up with a good topic for today. It's what, only 4 more?
Only 4 more to go.
And I was at 4 more what? And she said only 4 more Sundays until the end of 2020. And I thought, yeah, that's a good topic.
Hi, Josh.
Hello, Josh.
Normal is the setting on my clothing washer.
Yeah, normal is
Or the
certainly
dryer.
not what it used to be.
Lisa, I'm much better. Thank you. Have 7 baby button quail hatch.
Oh,
cool. Quails are so cute.
They won't put much meat on the table.
Do what?
Button quail probably won't put much meat on the table.
No.
Maybe they're not for food. I don't know.
7 might make a meal for somebody.
For one, yeah.
Sorry,
if
Tracy.
you eat bones and all. I got to tell you, I used to know this guy that back in the day with Kentucky Fried Chicken, he ate the bones too. This guy was an animal. I never could figure out. I mean, we'd go to, back then it was, Kentucky Fried Chicken. And he would literally eat the bones too. And I was always just kind of like, whoa. I never could figure out what was going on there.
And he says, like a chicken nugget.
Yeah, there you go. Put both breasts together and you got a chicken nugget. Oh, I don't know. We had quail some months ago, didn't we?
Yes, I had.
And they were
breasts.
Yeah, they were pretty good. I mean,
Bacon wrapped quail breast.
It wasn't a real huge portion, but yeah, the bacon wrapping helped too. So, not a nice bird to be a boy. I'm not sure I follow that, Tracy.
Yeah, you've lost us both, Tracy. I'm sorry.
You need to explain that one, partner. Darling.
She will.
But
Goodness, we've got 9 here already. We've only been here 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Things have been pretty quiet this week, though. It's we still don't know the results of our COVID testing.
Right.
We should hopefully get that early this week. I don't think either one of us are going to be positive. We're both still,
Oh, freezer camp is your mail and a bird.
okay.
Yes, I agree, Tracy.
My situation is still pretty much status quo, and I can still taste and I can still smell. Now, KJ and Lynn,
My 2 daughters.
Kate's daughters, both did come down with it. And it's kind of, I don't know what you'd call it. If there's anything that you could call serendipitous about all this COVID crap, it's that Lynn came down to visit with KJ. They both work remotely, so they kind of figured they'd just work together and then they could spend some time together. And as sisters, they've not spent a lot of time really together in the last several years, with Lynn being way up by Minneapolis and KJ being here in San Antonio, and both of them being very high pressured executives and at a level in their work that requires a great deal of concentration. So anyway, when Lynn came down, I was just thrilled, and her and Kate and the girls got together, and that was where our exposure came from. But as it turned out, it was Al, who's KJ's boyfriend, who did test positive, came down with COVID, and that's where Lynn and KJ apparently got exposed. But it's thrown them together now for another
Few weeks.
almost 3 weeks now, and there's really not an end in sight in the very near future.
Morning, Lori.
And KJ's in a new home, and she's got plenty of room for Lynn, so they're spending a lot of time together, probably reconnecting as they never have before, I would think,
Amy,
as sisters. So that's great.
Amy, what do you think is causing the death of your birds?
What?
She lost a guinea and one laying hen.
In the last couple of days.
And
Wow.
Tracy, yes, we are staying safe. Thank you.
Yeah, we've kind of upped our safety.
KJ and Lynn have symptoms. Brett, David, and I do not.
No, don't have symptoms other than my normal COPD, and that's oddly enough today. My typical morning when I get up is I seem to have this episode of coughing and sneezing that goes on for like an hour after I get up every day. Today, no, nothing,
I know.
nothing. I
But
haven't.
you did nebulizing the last couple of days.
Well, I did. I
You've never done
nebulized
that before.
day before yesterday.
Mhm.
I didn't do it yet. I got a nebulizer that I'm supposed to be using, and it's just kind of a pain in the butt. But I think I may end up start using it maybe 1 or 2 times a day. They say 3 times a day. That's.
You would just do it once every 2 days. It would make a difference.
Yeah, he said as he coughs. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to probably do some more of this nebulizing. Uh-oh,
My.
sounds like you might have a visitor there.
Was it
Was
an older
was
hen?
the hen beat up or anything? Show any signs of injury?
Eli. Hello, Eli. Good to see you. That single man.
Ah,
He lives now where there's no TV or no internet, so he only gets to access us when he comes into town.
oh.
So,
Well, thanks for coming in too.
Tracy, we don't really sleep upright, but we both have pillows, so I sleep a little upright. I get more upright sleep in my chair. I have a lovely recliner that I sleep a lot in.
Well, that's true.
I'll sit down to watch a movie, and if I'm still for 10 minutes, I'm asleep.
And
The hen was
I've-
eaten, but only the insides.
well, let's see. What would take a hen's insides and leave the rest? Probably have a really picky coyote.
Yeah, but theirs is an enclosed chicken run. It would have to tear down the walls to get to them.
Coyotes can get through some mighty small spaces. Either that or a ferret. Do you have any ferrets around there? Because a ferret could
A
definitely.
ferret could probably do it. Lori says it might be a rat. They're small too. Ferrets and rats can be
Yeah.
about the same size.
Lori says every day she goes in the loft and there's a missing
Josh says
bird
a
or a dead
possum
one.
can too. I don't know whether a possum would be.
Possums, no, they're.
They get pretty big, or at least here they get pretty big.
I don't know if they'd go after a chicken. They're more
Overhead
know,
netting is
they're
still
more
damaged.
bugs
from the
and
storm. Okay.
insects and small things like that. But Amy said she goes into the loft and there's a missing bird almost every day.
Oh, I bet he is upset, Lori. The
Yeah.
chickens they keep finding gone are her son's pets.
Huh.
Hiding from the cold in Arizona. Glad to be here in California for once. Top is missing, so she was thinking a possum and maybe a raccoon. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I
I
guess
thought
any one,
raccoons took the whole carcass with them.
any one of those could be doing it. You got something in there, that's for sure. Ah, pigeons. That's cool. Lori Austin has pigeons. I read that back for those of you that might not be following the chat, which I don't.
Are they homing pigeons, Lori? Or are they the kind that you just keep in a little run and get to listen to them make noise?
Sweet little coos, yeah.
Well, they don't coo really, not like a dove.
Well, they make kind of a fairly pleasant noise.
If it's time for a night hunt, yep.
Yeah, there you go. Sit out there for a spell, just real still and quiet, and see what wanders up to your pen.
Too bad you couldn't let Angel out and have her take care of it, but I don't think she'd do it. She'd probably want to love on them too much. Hi, Ellie. Good to see you.
Christmas lights outside. Yeah, it's that time.
Homing pigeons. She does have homing pigeons.
Okay, those are cool.
That's new.
I've always wondered about that. What I wanted to get into though was falconry. Back in the day, I really wanted to get into falconry.
Homing pigeon, you can sell the same one. Oh, Brett, only you would think of that. Dutch, hey, good to see you.
That's a Cajun outlook there. That's just pure Cajun.
Hi, CB. Dutch, how in the world are you? I haven't seen you in forever. No, Angel's
CB.
gun shy, so she'll leave her inside. No, I meant leave the gun inside, let Angel do the work.
Hello, CB. I don't recall that name.
Yeah, he's been around several times.
Okay. My brain's going. I can remember stuff from when I was 10 years old, but names I see here that scroll by me every week, I lose track of.
Yeah.
What can I say? Oh.
True being busy. Well, I'm glad you decided to stop in today, Dutch. You have been missed.
Yeah, it is really nice to see all you every time we, come on the tube. It's gratifying in one way, but at the same time, I'm just glad we have a gathering point. Is what it comes down to, I guess.
Amy, that's what I meant when I said she'd love them to pieces. Well, I got some frustrating news the other day. I was on PayPal, and they have a new thing where you can purchase. Oh goodness! The new
Finger hat?
the what?
Finger hat?
No, you can purchase the kind of money that you earn on Steemit. I suddenly can't think of the word for it.
You mean cyber currency? Or
Well, it is a cyber currency, but it's this specific one. Anyway, I have a bunch built up over on Steemit. I wanted to transfer them over to PayPal, and they won't let you transfer it in. You can buy it through there, but you can't transfer it in from another site.
Well, what's the point of Steam having the money there? How much do you have at Steam?
Well, it depends on what day you go over and look. I've had as much as $400 in as little as 12. So it depends on where this.
Well, what are you supposed to do with the money you have at Steam then?
Well, if you catch it on the right day, you can transfer it into U.S. currency and Bitcoin. That's what I'm trying to think of. Bitcoin. Right. Yes, thank you, Amy.
Well, we don't have any experience with Bitcoin. I read a lot up on about it when it first came out, and it just kind of went right over my head.
Eli, do you have data plan on your telephone? Do you have a net access through your cell phone that you could catch some of the internet lives that way?
A lot of stuff you can download and
look at later. Screeched and scared. I'm sorry, CB. Our dog squealing scared. Our bird scared his dog. They scare a lot of people.
It goes in one ear and out the other. Here, I didn't even hear it.
Well, I heard it, but I didn't pay any attention to it.
It's just part of the background noise here.
Yeah. I just noticed I've got a bump on my hat here. I'm not sure what causes that. Oh, it's
where I hit you in the head the other day, sweetheart.
Hi, Iris.
Where I hit you in the head the other day, right?
It must be.
Yeah, she gets out of line. I smack her, boy. I'm a hard man to live with.
Well, the only thing I know about Bitcoin is that when I was really active on Steemit, I built up a huge amount. And Daddy Curbs
She
was
did really
sending,
good, man.
sending the Bitcoin to a friend in South America where it was really bad and they had no money and no food and everything else. And he was sending the Bitcoin down there because that man could then trade it in for their local currency and get food for his family. And I tried to send some down to the same gentleman and it wouldn't let me do it. So I wasn't sure what to do with it. So it's just been sitting there and I quit posting videos on Steemit, although I've got enough of them now I could go in and post them and maybe make a whole big deal again. But it's just been a lot of effort.
I did some stuff on Steemit too about the birds. Some of them,
Oh,
a couple of them were kind of interesting.
A single man uses a dumb phone, so he can't even access on his phone.
You got to get up into the 90s, my man.
Thank you, CB and Josh. I appreciate that.
I
This
think
is
she
one
looks
of my
pretty. I think she
my
looks
new,
cute today too.
This is one of my new aprons. It's a crossover. It doesn't tie. It doesn't have any buttons or anything. You just put it on over your head and leave it all day, and I love it. It's got great big pockets so I can carry all kinds of things around with me. And I like my red plaids. I'm getting into plaids a lot.
And me, I'm just here in my striking gray.
From Great Crater Lake,
Yeah,
the national park.
my son lives out in this part of the country.
Mm-hmm. Don't you
Okay.
wish you had bought Bitcoin 5 years ago? 5 years ago was about when I started earning Bitcoin, but I haven't done anything with it. So, thank you, Amy.
So what else is on folks' mind today?
Lisa Clark.
What?
I got my
Thank you. That's what's going on at y'all's place. That's right.
Okay.
There you go.
hang on. Lisa, I got my
Sorry.
apron at wish.com and it was about $8. So, and they have like 6 different colors, and I got 2. Okay, what's going on at our
She's
place?
gonna break me at Wish.com. I swear to God. There's always stuff showing up from Wish.com around here.
But it always comes out of my savings.
I know. Well, technically that's not true, but
Pardon?
I said technically that's not true. It comes out of the joint account.
Yes, but I watch my amount so that I know I can always cover it out of savings. And I
Well,
told you could transfer it back over.
But I usually I don't bother to transfer because it's not hurting the bank balance any. So
Okay.
what the heck?
Got any good recipes for toilet paper? No.
You could boil some bark.
This is a crossover. Let me turn around. Well, it's not really a crossover.
It is pretty much. I mean, it well, if you kind of, it
It's so
crosses over below here, and then when it, see right down here, it crosses over that way.
but in the front,
But it doesn't need any,
it looks like a dress.
yeah, it doesn't need any ties or anything. She's been wearing one pretty much about 18 hours a day since she got them.
I love them. I
Yep.
really do. They're so comfortable. Let's see. I'm going to see what temperature it is here.
Pretty warm out there today. Well, maybe not.
It's 48. No, I can't be
Not
48.
40, it can't be 48 degrees.
Yep. No, 52.
Okay, there we go. Still kind of chilly, but
Hi,
it's
Michigan
nice.
Daffodil. Good to see you. And the best part of it is that it's all 100% cotton. So it really is wonderful. And everything washes out of it. I spilled mustard down the front of it the other day, and it washed right out. So
CB made a garland for a Christmas tree out of
I'm sorry,
What?
what?
CB made a garland for their Christmas tree out of toilet paper, and then asked her husband, "What do you think?" Yes, Amy, it is supposed to get cold here.
Supposed to freeze on
Um,
Monday night, Tuesday morning.
Last couple 3 days, Kate and David, one of the guys that lives up in front of us, have been building a greenhouse out in our well, it's covered driveway. What carport? Thank you. So anyway, they've got that up now. So she's got a plastic sided building where she can put her fragile plants.
I've got
And they've
wood
been
up to
moving
waist
stuff into
high
there.
and cat plastic above that.
Yeah, you can walk in there. I mean, it's not small. And it's got shelves in there and everything else. So
Well, I took the
they did a good job.
I took the two greenhouses that I bought last spring that Amy told me about and put them in there and then made an enclosure around that. That way in the summer, I can take the plastic and roll it up and I can still have the greenhouse stuff.
Yep.
So, the only thing it doesn't have is windows, but I've been told that I can cut those in it and I probably will do
Just
that.
take them down when you don't want them.
Hmm.
But she and David, there's still some big plants that need to be moved, and I think there's some more smaller ones you want to get today, right?
Yeah, there's quite a few smaller ones.
Because I think they're supposed to get down to like 39 here tonight, something
No,
like
tomorrow
that.
night. And David said he would come over tomorrow morning early and help me get everything
Oh,
in.
good.
I talked to him
Good.
already this morning.
See, I got that covered.
Mhm. Well, he called me. He was ready to come do it today. And I said, no, today's my live stream. Thank you. It's going to
Thanks.
freeze in El Paso.
Christy, oh,
Hi,
thank you
Christy.
for coming. Good to see you. Yeah, it doesn't freeze very often in El Paso, does it, Lisa? I'll tell you what, I've
About as often as it freezes here.
El Paso is an intriguing town, you know, and it really is. I mean, it's kind of a combination of a lot of different things.
A lot of different what?
A lot of different things. I mean, it's an artist community, El Paso.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's a mega center for Hispanic activities.
Right.
So there's a lot of Hispanic influence all over the city. It's a fairly good sized metroplex, as I recall. So it's kind of big city. But at the same time, when you think about El Paso, you're thinking about this wide spot in the road out on the westernmost part of Texas, this little tit that sticks
A
out there.
lot more than that.
So, you know, and it's a lot more than that. So El Paso to me has always been kind of an intriguing
Hello,
town.
Sean. It's good to
And,
see
you
you.
know, gateway to Mexico too. So
Ahmad, hi.
hello, Ahmad. Oh my gosh, low 20s in Alabama?
Who's getting the low 20s now?
Christy.
There's Dutch.
Yeah, Christie's getting low 20s in Alabama, and Dutch is getting 28 to 30s at nighttime.
Hello, Lisa Lee. Good to see you.
Hi, Lisa.
Well, it's
So
supposed
good
to
to
go
see
down.
everybody pop in. You know what? It really is.
It's supposed to go down to 32 Monday night, Tuesday morning. So, not sure beyond that what it's supposed to be doing. But I figure if I get most of my plants in, I still haven't decided what I'm going to do about the tomato plant. I've got the still blooming and still growing tomatoes. It didn't do anything this summer, but once it cooled down, it's been going crazy. And I have a whole dish full of little bitty tomatoes that it's produced.
You're not going to move those
Pomegranate.
pomegranates, are you? Can you
Um,
move those?
I don't know if they'll die or not out there on the tree.
Well,
Anybody
they're
know
growing,
where
they're growing good
freeze easily?
pomegranates. And those trees are only a couple of years old, right?
It's only 1 year old.
And they're already putting out good sized pomegranates.
I got a couple that were about this size, about what,
I haven't quite figured
4
out.
inches in diameter?
Have you tried those on the birds yet? See if they
No,
like them?
I have not.
It'd be interesting to see if they like them. That'd be an interesting, messy
Did I
little
miss
treat to give.
somebody? I don't
Well,
know.
Amy, it's been raining there for you, huh? Yeah,
It
yuck.
rained here all day yesterday, but it's just as clear as a bell today.
Yeah.
Sean, I don't quite have enough for that, but I've been looking for recipes on making either the chow chow or a green tomato relish. Just something that doesn't require peppers. And actually, they're turning red a little at a time. So I'll be right back.
So I see North Shore, you've had sun for a couple days. That's nice. Christy, it's raining there and the roof is leaking. Oh, that's a shame about the roof leaking. Rats. You know, everybody hollers about kale. I just don't know. I don't know.
Look, these were all green like this, and this
The
is
purple.
one of my purples.
Purple
Purple
tomatoes.
tomatoes.
Purples.
Yeah. So they are slowly ripening, and we had some on our hamburgers last night, and they were
It
delicious.
looks more like a squash there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's one of those heirloom tomatoes. We've got several of them. But this is a Cherokee purple, guys, and it really does get very dark. Pomegranate can survive a light freeze on the plant, but pick them. Okay. Well, I've got probably 20 out there still, and I've already picked 12 or 15. Took Mama a whole bag full. She loves them.
Now, those really wouldn't be good for making fried green tomatoes, wouldn't they?
No, but you can't. Iris, we're really glad that you come every Sunday. We would miss you if you were not here.
Yes, that's very true. I was just saying before, it's just really nice when everybody just kind of pops in. I may not notice, but it's nice to have y'all here.
Michigan, I'm the other way around. I don't particularly care for fresh kale. It's a little too bitter for me.
Now look at
I
that.
love to put them in my dehydrator and dehydrate them and then sprinkle them with a little salt.
Amy says if you put green tomatoes in a paper bag
With a banana.
with a banana, they'll ripen quicker.
If they ripen
Oh,
too quick,
darn.
I won't be able to eat them all.
Amy, I'm kind of with you. I'm not a fan of kale. Never have been.
Well, I don't buy it because I can't eat that much of it. But if I did, I would probably dehydrate at least half of it and put it in my super greens mix. That way I wouldn't know I was eating it and I'd get plenty.
We could give it to the birds too. They might like
Probably.
it. I mean, like you said, just dry it most of the way.
Well,
They
thank
might
you.
like that if you chopped it up and put that in there with their bird food.
Kale is an acquired taste. You just grow it for the pigs. Ah, okay. Well, we may grow it for the birds
I was thinking that would be a really good source because kale apparently is good for you.
if they would eat it. Paper bag works for tomatoes. Yeah, it does. Dry
I'm
it,
thinking
powder
that-
it so I won't have to taste it.
But
Exactly.
if you dehydrated it and just broke it up, and they'd sooner or later they'd eat some of it at least.
No kale for Sean. Not even in a Super Greens mystery mix.
Just like that, you see that everybody's making smoothies,
Mm-hmm.
and then they end up throwing a green one. I don't care what's in it. If it's green,
You don't want to drink
I ain't drinking it. No.
Close your eyes and just swallow. You'll never know.
No. I ain't drinking a green smoothie.
Yeah, he doesn't eat many green veggies either.
Mm.
You're considering a
Oh.
dehydrator. Iris, I
Well,
absolutely
there's who you want to
adore
talk to
mine.
right there.
Amy is going to get the kind that I have. It's called a Magic. What is it, Amy? Magic Mix? Magic something. I forget now. I can get the lime is green. That's right. We can get the link for it if you really want it. And I'll have it for you next week.
And you couldn't have a better group of folks to help you along with it, Iris, because
Magic Meal. Thank you, Amy.
what Kate doesn't know about dehydrating
Amy does.
wouldn't fill a book.
What I don't
So-
know about dehydrating, Amy does. So between the
Yeah.
two of us, and you're right, single man, I actually have a way to go solar as well. I have some trays from a dehydrator that I had that died, and in the summertime when it's really hot here in Texas, I put them outside in the sun, and I have a big box fan that I turn on and blow the hot air over them, and they dehydrate very quickly.
And she also has her solar oven.
Ruth says, put the green smoothie in a colored glass. Good idea.
Somehow or other, I'd see the green before it went in my mouth. Though I could be totally wrong. I mean, green smoothies might be delicious. I don't know. Be just that first sip would be a real tentative proposition for me. Okay,
Hello, Susanna. It's
Hi,
good
Susanna.
to see you.
nice of you to come by. Always happy to have folks here.
Susanna, I have to apologize. I have got some more moringa seeds on order. The ones that I thought I had, I can't find. And as soon as they get here, yours will be on the way. I'm sorry. I thought I had them and I can't find them anywhere.
Pickled kale?
Hmm?
Tracy says pickled kale. That's even
I hadn't
worse.
thought about that. Thank you, Amy.
Looky there. Look what your moderator did for you there.
I know, she's so good. Pickled kale. I hadn't thought about doing that. I would probably dry it and salt it instead. You're welcome, Susanna. I'm sorry it's been so long. The first set I sent to her got lost somewhere in the mail. Second set, I kept thinking, I'll find it, and I never did. So, oh goody, Amy's moringas are alive and well. I'm glad to hear that. My elderberries are going in the greenhouse today.
And she made a new batch of elderberry syrup the other day. It really came out good.
I'm sorry.
You made a batch of the syrup the other day that came out really good.
Yeah, and we've almost finished it. I'm going to make another one today.
Yeah, I haven't had mine yet today. I need it later.
You can go get it now? Okay.
No.
Amy says she's not as fast as I am, but
Yeah,
she's
well,
getting better. Amy, you are great. You are a wonderful moderator, and I really appreciate all your efforts.
well, Kate's got a whole scenario she lays out when she moderates. She's got a bunch of documents open in the background and ways to grab all kinds of links and everything. I mean, she's ready. When she moderates, she does it like a pro. She really does.
Christy made a smoothie, a bunch of strong
We're
veggies
making
once. We were
retching sound.
retching sound.
That's a green smoothie.
Well, no,
See?
look at what Singleman said. Ground veggies and green meat. It's the military.
You know, that might get you retching too, yeah.
John says he remembers that.
Yeah.
Don't go too far with that, guys. He used to be a food inspector for the military.
I've seen some nasty ass food in my time, I'll tell you that.
Amy, if you knew all the tricks and cheats that I use, you could get that fast. Next time I come, aside from teaching you to make soap, I'll have to teach you my tricks on moderating. Military food sounds fine.
It meets all the nutritional needs of the troop in the field. Okay.
When I was, I guess I was maybe 11 or 12, I was a member of a Girl Scout troop, and our leader's husband was in the Navy. And we would go camping on the parade ground at the local Navy base there.
Cool.
The guy who was in charge of that base was very supportive of all the scout things that went on. So we would go out there and we would camp, and we couldn't build a fire on the parade ground.
Yeah.
So instead, our leader would show up with a whole box full of MREs, and we thought it was just so exciting and wonderful, you know, being little kids like we were, and not military, most of us. And MRE was just a mystery food that we thought was wonderful. I look back on those and wonder how we could eat them, but we did, and we thought they were good.
You know, bear in mind, a part of my job was I had to eat the ones that were expired to
Yeah.
see if they were still good to extend. And oftentimes they were not.
Did I catch right from check? No, I didn't, Tracy. I didn't get the notice from her until the day after her live chat, and I was very disappointed because I used to moderate for Liz all the time, and I really enjoy her channel. Very easy to grow. Loves being around chicken coops for some reason.
We must be talking about elderberries.
Pardon?
Maybe they're talking about elderberries.
Oh, okay. I'm going to grow my elderberry next year in the backyard, right by the outlet for the air conditioner where the water drips down a little pipe, and I'm going to plant it right close to there, and that way they'll be wet all the time.
I have a feeling there might be more than a few vets here. I'm retired Air Force, Vietnam era. Now we've got Single Man as a Vietnam vet. Thank you for your service, big boy. We put up with a lot of shit over the years, didn't we, after the war?
Amy, I don't have any chickens. Sorry. It'll just have to do with air conditioner drip water.
Well, chickens up there are yours, partly.
Oh, yeah, they're mine, but I'm not going to go out and scoop out somebody else's chicken run.
Oh, okay.
My dog is down here sitting beside me getting his back scratched. He comes up and backs up to me and wraps his tail around my arms so I'll scratch his back.
He's got a well trained. Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
Okay, that's enough. Go watch. Go play. He wants me to let him outside. Hello back, Brett. Oh, I'm going to go let him out, guys. He's come back twice after me.
Goes over and stands by the door and looks at her and wags his tail. He's just got this big question mark on his face, like, let me out.
What I don't understand about this dog is he can figure out how to pull the door out so that he can come in, but he can't figure out how to push it to go out. I don't understand that. It seems to be easier to push it to go out, but he just can't seem to get it. I've shown him 3 or 4 times.
Well, Diamond I'm a long way away from the time that I lived in the military, but if you were to use one word to kind of sum up what the whole experience is, interesting is about as good a word as you're going to find, because that it is. It is interesting. There's a lot about it that people that have never even been close to the military just can't even begin to understand or perceive or conceive. It's a whole different it's a whole different way of living your life, for one thing.
Christy, I do too.
Yep, spoiled critters. No, we don't have any spoiled critters.
I have.
The only ones that aren't spoiled are the fish.
Well, they would be spoiled too if
Although
I could
they
figure
got-
out a way to.
Well, they did get a new pump and everything just the
Right.
other day because
Got a new top.
their water was getting a little bit cloudy, little bit cloudy. So Kate goes out and buys them a whole new pump and filtration system.
Well, they live in that 5 gallons of water. That's their whole world.
Did I complain? Did I
No,
complain?
you didn't.
But, you talk about spoiling. That's the water's a little bit cloudy. Okay. It's time to change every freaking piece of hardware in the tank.
Yeah, Christy.
Okay.
My dog is very spoiled too, and I let him out, and the temperature's below 70, and he doesn't have his sweater on. Excuse me. I usually make sure he wears a sweater when it starts getting cold because he has that little tiny short hair. I'm afraid he'll get cold.
Yeah, Lisa, I was an Air Force brat before I went in the Air Force myself. So,
You see what Amy says?
but
She says, "Don't pick on Kate." Thank you, Amy.
then I got nobody to pick on. So it's either her or nobody.
I took a
Okay.
sip of this a minute ago and went down the wrong pipe, and I can't seem to clear it.
Yeah, Diamond Willow, there's no way they can. I mean, until you have actually lived a military lifestyle, it is unlike anything in the civilian world, period. So you can't appreciate it unless you've lived it.
And I'm the wife of a retired military man, but I've never lived it, and I really don't understand it. And I know I don't understand it.
But it prepares you for a lot of stuff. My kids told me, when we were moving around when I was in the service, it seemed like they gradually came to hate me more and more every time we made a PCS, every time we went from one station to another, because they were leaving behind their schools, leaving behind their friends, leaving behind the area they knew, and going into completely unknown stuff. And the last move that we made was from Sacramento, California to Omaha, Nebraska. That's a long drive. And my daughter, who was 13, was so pissed at me that she probably didn't say 10 words to me in that whole trip. And that made it really a nice trip, but I didn't tell her that. But she was just outraged that we were leaving and, screaming, crying. I literally had to almost drag her into the car to leave Sacramento. So anyway, later on down the road, both of my kids would come to me separately and said that they really appreciated being raised in the military, going from place to place, seeing so much. I mean, they lived in Turkey and they lived in Spain and they lived, in California. They got to move around and they didn't appreciate it until they were adults. So there is that. What?
Susanna Diamond Willow says
Yeah.
she's sure that our animals are treated better than we treat each other. Now, I have to say that in some cases that might be true, Susanna, but in this house, this one gets the first spoiling. If anybody's going to get spoiled, the dog and cat and the birds and fish can do whatever they want to. He is my first priority, and he is spoiled.
Yes, I am.
And he liked it.
I cannot deny it. I mean, if I tried to deny it and say, no, I'm not spoiled, I haven't got a leg to stand on, folks. I mean, I just don't. So I might as well just enjoy it while it lasts. I mean, it's kind of a unique situation, I got to tell you, because it's, I mean, I'll literally put it this way. Just a whim of an idea, if I have.
Yeah, you are, Amy.
Kate will try to do it for me. I mean, I don't care what it is. If I just casually mention something that I'd like to have, next time she comes home from the store, she's probably got it. And it might have been, oh, that's a cool ad. And all of a sudden I have the product. I mean, it's, like, what was it recently? Oh, there's a new Twix that has like a,
the new candy bar.
yeah, there's a variation on the Twix bar. I said, that looks kind of good. Next time she went shopping, I've got one sitting on my desk. What can you do? I mean, she does it without even thinking.
Well, the way I look at it,
Or with a lot of thought, actually.
there is an old saying that says happy wife, happy life. Well, the way I look at it, it's happy spouse, happy life. Because he's my husband, not my wife, and I keep him happy and he treats me well too. So.
I don't know. I treat you like dirt sometimes.
And do what?
I said I treat you like dirt sometimes.
No, you don't. And Susanna, you don't have to worry. He does not take advantage of it. He's
God, no.
that
I try not to.
often I fuss at him because he needs to let me do things when he can't.
On the serious side of that, being spoiled, I do try not to abuse it. I really do, because it would be so easy to. It would be so easy to abuse that, and man,
Good.
that would make me a pretty low life dude if I did that. So, but I'll put it this way too. On the other side of the coin, if Kate says she wants something,
I'll get it.
I'll move heaven and earth to get it for her. I mean, she's got her sun oven, she's got her dehydrators, she's got her pressure canners, you've got your rocket stove, you've got, I don't know what else. I mean, I'm not talking.
2 stand mixers.
Yeah, and a new stove,
A new stove.
upright freezer. I mean, I'm not putting price tags on this by any means, but it's just, if Kate needs or wants something and thinks that she can make use of it, I will do whatever I can to make sure it comes in that front door. I will do that. So
I'm spoiled too. There's no question about it.
now that may seem like it's just materialistic and stuff, but there's a lot more behind it than that. It's not just the money at all.
Right.
It's,
Kate said she wants to move to my house, start moving heaven and earth.
let's see, if I put a big rope between their
Amy,
place
we have to wait till my
and we
parents
pull on it
go.
from both ends, maybe we can pull the places closer together.
Sean, I looked at my canning jars the other day, and I have 9 dozen quart canning jars. Half are wide mouth and half are narrow. Plus, I've got a bunch of quarts.
You said quarts were the 9
I'm
dozen.
sorry, pints and 9 dozen pints and the quarts.
Well, it wasn't that long ago that you were virtually out of jars.
I know.
Where'd you get them all? How'd they all just?
Walmart and Dollar General both had them on sale. I didn't pay
Cool.
more than $8 per dozen for any of them.
Outstanding. Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, buy them all. That's for damn sure.
Susanna says clear an area for my house on her property. Oh, I'll tell you what, when my parents crossed the Rainbow Bridge, so to speak, we're probably will look for another place to live if it's at all possible.
Good chance of it.
Yeah.
Depends on what kind of shape I'm in at that point too. So, but that's, I mean, this place is just too big for us. It really is. It's when we moved in here, yes, I could take care of the outside pretty well. I can't now. And I really hate hiring people to do it. So it's it's difficult to get things done. There's a lot of little jobs that need to be done, but I need a handyman to come in for like 2 or 3 days to just take care of all the little flibbity gibbets that are broken or need to be fixed that I just can't do. So, well, he helps out. Both Ron and David help out quite a bit. But there's, now actually David may end up helping us quite a bit more here in the near future. Dave's come to find out that he's got a whole lot of skills that we didn't even know about. And like he has plumbing skills. But we have a toilet that we'd like to swap out.
Me 2 hours.
And so, things like that. So we may end up using him quite a bit. And he appreciates getting paid. So that takes care of that because what can I say?
David has helped. David, my brother's roommate, helped me build the greenhouse enclosure. And then Ron came up and helped him finish it because it's 7 feet tall and my 5'3" cannot reach the 7-foot top of that thing to help. I'd have to climb up on a ladder every time we needed to do something. So they both came down and finished it up.
Amy, believe me, relocation ideas, if and when we were able to do it, definitely include your neck of the woods. I've been watching some of these RV shows here of late, and if there's a way that we could figure out to put secure spots for our bird cages in there and devise a way so that we could transport the birds safely in an RV, which I have some ideas, there's a good chance that we would come over and maybe park that puppy on your land and just live there if the offer holds at that point. Because there's, other than Kate's mom and dad, there's really very little holding us here in San Antonio. I mean, it's a nice place to live, but we don't have to be here other than the fact that it keeps Kate close to her mom. When that's no longer in the picture, it might be different.
Do it.
It's not out of the realm of possibility, Amy, by any means.
I agree.
I mean,
with you,
I like Louisiana. I always have. I spent a lot of time over in Valabethia, Alabama, just south of Mobile, inspecting seafood way back in the 70s. And I got to know quite a few Cajun fishermen, and hanging out on their shrimp boats and all that kind of stuff because I'd have to go out there and inspect the shrimp before they took it off the boat. So I'd get to go out there and, talk to the captain and the crew. And
I know what we can do.
What?
We can talk to the people that live in the house in front of Brett and Amy and see if we can't buy their property. And then we can move their house off and put one that we like on there.
What, they have a mobile home there, or you can tear down
I'm
the
not
house?
sure what it is, to be honest. Hi, Pepper Tribe. Good to see you. Just
Well,
keep the hurricanes away. I lived in Corpus for 14 years.
It's we're not tied down here, and if I could figure out a way to make sure that the critters can come with us safely, it's a distinct possibility. But
Hi, Going Green Mom.
the birds going with us is kind of a that's not negotiable. So
Brett, that's we make better
better
neighbors.
neighbors.
Yeah, and I wouldn't fuss about driving too fast on the driveway either.
Yep. Yeah, I tell you what, I didn't expect to end up in San Antonio. I don't know where I expected to end up next. So, but anyway, let's see.
Susanna, you can
I'll tell you
usually
what,
do
Brett.
that Dollar General. You can usually find lids. I found them for 75 cents for a box of 12. So you can usually find them inexpensively at Dollar General.
Brett, I'd like to give you a real good try as a neighbor. I have a feeling you and I'd get along just great. Maybe. Okay.
Problem is, if we move, we're going to have to pack up my pantry. That'll take 3 days all by itself.
You know what?
What?
All that pantry stuff, come to think of it, if I wanted to move your pantry, I think what I'd do would be rent a small U-Haul truck and load everything up and then tear down the cabinets and the shelving and load that up too
Okay.
and make one trip with that stuff.
Get that put in first.
So for example,
Good
let's
idea.
assume we're over in the Broussard's neck of the woods.
Susanna,
Move that first.
home is here. All I do
Yeah.
is drive 20 minutes that way and I'm at my folks' house. So the birds stay in their cages, or if we go to the vet, they ride on their shoulders.
And they're out and about in the house quite a bit, and at least a couple of them that come. Kareem mainly just comes walking in sometimes out of the bird room.
Like Reed said, and the cookbooks. The pantry and the cookbook.
Cookbooks, and that would finish up the load, that's for sure. Yeah, it would. Kate must have, and I don't think I'm over guesstimating. Probably 200 or more cookbooks.
More than that. More than that.
You think so? More than that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The 2 stacks right over there are all cookbooks.
Well, I didn't count those.
I have a roll top desk, guys. And the top is down because when you roll it up, from the desktop to where the thing rolls down, it's all cookbooks and it's 4 deep all the way.
And that's just one location.
Hmm?
And that's just one location. You've
Yeah.
got more over in the bookcase in there, and the bookcase in there.
And the bookcase in here.
And yeah, and
In his
stuff
man
in-
cave,
in
I have
in
2
there.
shelves.
These here,
Oh, I'm
well over
sorry.
200.
When I go home, I go home.
Yeah, we'll be going home.
And we don't know who's going to take care of the birds. That we thought we had lined up and it's changed, so we
Yeah.
don't know.
Don't know.
Yeah. Well, if I move the food stored in my pantry, all of my cookbooks, and all of my kitchen equipment, and by equipment I mean small appliances and pots and pans and that sort of stuff, it would take a pretty big U-Haul to move all of that.
Yeah, it would.
Yes, they're doing
Yes,
very
they're doing well,
Prepper.
Prepper. A couple of weeks ago, Kareem and Gandhi got into a bit of a snit,
Hi, Lori Lumax.
and Kareem kind of walked away with a little bit of a gash in his chest. But it's healed up now. It's fine.
Do I use all of my cookbooks?
No, she doesn't, but, you know,
Actually, when I get ready to make something I've not made before or not made in a long time, I will sit down with 8 or 10 cookbooks and go through looking for various recipes to cook whatever it is. Then I decide which one I want to make, and that's what I use.
yeah, and then she'll go check on the internet.
I also have about 6,000 recipes saved on my laptop that
Yeah.
I copied off the internet. And if I can't find it in those, then I just go do a search or Google search and find what I can there.
We took her mother's cookbook and I scanned in each page.
Yep.
And then printed them all out, 3-hole punched them and put them in a binder for her. So she has her mother's cookbook. And how many daughters can say that? I mean, those cookbooks that come down from parents are priceless.
And
So
the
and
one
a lot
that
of
he
it is
did,
in her handwriting. You know, it's
and the ones that I have saved on my camera, on my phone, are all handwritten in my mother's handwriting. So those we're eventually going to print out as well.
I thought I already did.
No, that's another group.
Oh, okay.
Mom will put together quite a large group of
Well, I've finally, for like 3 years now, I've had the same printer, and it has stayed up and running. It's an HP, And I've never had a printer last this long before without just going belly up. So scanning and
Oh, cool.
doing PDFs and all that kind of stuff, it all works fine. And it does a real good job of scanning. So let's see.
Take care, Michigan Daffodil.
Got 27
See you
people there.
next Sunday, I hope.
Wow, and it's almost time to go and everybody shows up. We may have to change our time to 2:00.
Or just straight out of it.
Yep.
Going Green
Spring
has
yellow
a
recipe.
recipe in her great-grandmother's handwriting.
Wow.
And Lisa Clark has her great-grandmother's cookbooks.
Now, see, those are priceless, aren't they?
Mm.
Those are priceless. Yep.
I'm sure, yeah. Okay, Going Green. Amy, I don't want to talk about printers today. Mine's giving me crap. I have one that, actually, I have 3 printers in the house and none of them work. I just haven't figured out how to get rid of them. Hello, Amber's Little Rose. Welcome. I don't think I've met you before. Glad to see you here.
Hello. Welcome.
And Princess Williams Garden. Welcome to you as well. Goodness, we got a couple of new folks today.
Christy, that must have been weird seeing your mom's handwriting on the internet recipe.
That you're right. I mean, CB, you're right. Cookbooks are priceless. And I have some that go back to the late 1800s. I have a couple. Single man.
I got in a fist fight over her cookbooks.
Brother got.
Amber's Little Rose just found your
Oh,
channel.
my.
Well, thank you for coming by and taking a look. We're glad to have you.
Yes, we're glad.
This
you
is a
came
small group. It's just some down-home folks. Some of them like her and I. Most of them are all younger, but that's neither here nor there. But we just got to get together and talk about stuff.
by. I have one remaining sister, and she and I will be going through my mom's cookbooks when Mom gives them up.
Yep.
And that's one reason why I have all those pictures, because I know there are some of those that we would fight over, and it's just easier for me to print out copies and let her have the others.
Well, Amber, thank you for.
Hi, Julie
Thank you for your
Nelson. Good
appreciation.
to see you.
Yeah, I tell you what. Lost my cookbook.
Hmm?
I lost my cookbook to Susan.
That's what you should-
My former wife. We over the years had put together a dynamite cookbook. It was impressive of recipes, and it stayed with her when we split up. And then some years later, her house burned to the ground, and of course that went with it. So
Good idea,
it's all
Pepper
gone,
Tribe.
and I never got any copies or anything of it. It had my father's barbecue sauce recipe in his handwriting in there, and I would have loved to have saved that. And my mother's Cornish pasty recipe, which was the other one I would have loved to have saved. I'll never be able to make my dad's sauce, but I do make good pasties. I don't know. Over cookbooks, better to save the relationship than fight. I don't know. Recipes are hard to replace. Irreplaceable.
Nancy, I wash mine very well, but I don't put them through the sanitizer because they're not going to sit there that long. We go through a quart of elderberry syrup every month.
Yeah, Christy, it's you don't realize what you got until it's gone. Whenever you got a book of recipes, I mean, there was a series of when I was the Protestant Women of the Chapel, when I was living over in Spain for what 4 years or so. Every year, the Protestant Women of the Chapel put out a cookbook. Now you have to imagine Air Force. These are families from all over the world. So these books had recipes from just about every place that you can think of. And they were all tried and true and really, really good. Those went with Susan as well. So I lost those in
Princess,
the
you
process.
are right. Recipes are irreplaceable.
Yeah, they are.
Everything is made by what that person is used to doing it. You can take a basic white bread recipe from 5 different people and have 5 different recipes, and oddly enough, it'll taste 5 different ways. So recipes are truly irreplaceable. You're right. I have a whole group
Nisi-
of church recipes.
Nisi Tribe. Who's that? Do you know that?
Hmm?
Nisi Tribe.
Yes, Macy's been here for a while.
Okay. Well, hi there.
Hi, Celtic. Good to see
Hey,
you too.
Celtic.
You know, Amy, I'm going to put as many of my recipes as I can on a thumb drive, and I'm going to go to some place and get them all printed at one time.
Well,
Thank you, Brett.
Is there something wrong with the way I was doing them?
No, but I don't want to wear out your printer. I've got
That's why I've
6,000
got it.
recipes.
That's why I've got it.
Okay.
I mean, that printer in reality cost me less than $200. Granted, the ink is like liquid gold, but I buy the ultra big black cartridges, and that's all I use.
I know, Amy.
I'll print them out for you anytime, darling. Yep.
Blueberry buckle sounds wonderful.
Oh, today might be a Tylenol day.
Uh-oh.
Where's my back? Maybe it's just sitting here. My back is stiff.
Could be. These chairs are not the most
No,
comfortable.
they're not. You know what?
What?
We need to rearrange our studio.
Okay.
Number one, we need to move this out more so that I can just come in with my chair
Mm-hmm.
and change our background here because it's getting old. What do you think, folks? Should we change our set? 27 opinions here on whether or not we ought to change the way our environment looks.
I have a rocket stove. I do too. What do you guys think is the best way to cook inside?
Well, given our druthers, we'd do gas. Hopefully, we might be able to get some done if the grant comes through to remodel our house. We may do what the Broussards have done and just get a propane line
Some spring
Brought
cleaning
in.
happening. Yep.
and put in a gas stove.
I say whatever Kate says. Thank you, Julie.
Julie, you are a true diplomat.
I wouldn't mind scooting the table out and making room behind it, but then we'd have no way to walk through.
Well, I don't know that that's. I don't know that that's the answer. We need to do something.
Okay.
You know, just I don't know.
Maybe turn it this way. Turn it
I don't know.
90
Maybe
degrees.
we go.
That way we'd come around the table and be facing the light from the door would come in and hit it.
Yeah, that just
We'll have to try it and let you guys.
something a little different. Just
We look great to you. It feels like we're sitting around the table. Yep. Well, see, the only difference would be we'd have a different view.
yeah, we
Kind of
are.
how first then.
And amazing prepper. We're sitting on a table, hanging out with folks. That's
Yep.
what we're doing.
Anybody know the best place to stock up on butane? Nope. I have one of those great big bottles that goes to our barbecue pit, and we've used it maybe 4 times since we bought the barbecue
Well,
pit.
there's companies that deal exactly with that. You know, they've got the huge tanks. You can go in and you can fill up your, I don't know, what do they call them, 30 pounders or whatever. But they'll come out and give you, if you've got a 500-pound tank, they'll come out and load you up. Now, the cost, I don't know what that would be, but it would be,
That's what I was
it'd
thinking.
be a
Princess.
good sized chunk of change one time, but then you got 6 months with no gas bill. So, or more, I don't know. Depends on how much you use it. But you got to pay for a lot of it at once.
Yeah, if we decide to move the table, we got to figure out which way to do it, because no matter which way we go, we don't have good views.
Backdrop, I don't know about that, but it was just a thought, I
We
mean.
could use the big picture I got. It's hang it's on the floor over there.
Oh, our birds?
Hang up.
Yeah, I love that picture. I don't know why I haven't taken the time to put that thing up. It's gorgeous. I'll have to
It would
figure
make
out a
good
way to show it to
backdrop, especially for us with all of our bird things.
you. Yeah. Yeah, it would. We could figure out a way to put that behind us.
Mm-hmm.
We might try that. Is that
Fortunately, we have
These are-
windows on
we got
either
a-
side.
a huge picture that Kate got for me some years ago? It's probably about 5 feet long, at least
4.5, 5 feet tall. It's
yeah,
big.
4.5, 5 feet tall, and it's big, gorgeous, beautiful macaws, and it's beautiful.
Oh, our topic today, only 4 more to go, 4 more Sundays until the end of 2020. This has been such a weird, awful year that I'm looking forward to 2021.
Let's hope, God. Please let 2021 be better than this year.
Well, that would be nice, Sean, except this is an antique table with claw feet, and I'm not sure what you could do to put rollers on these things, and we have carpeting, so.
Yeah, wheels. Well, I could put wheels. I mean, wheels could be put on there, but no, that's not the answer. That's not the answer, but I don't know. I was just had a wild hair, just thinking about something different. Because, I mean, this has been we've been doing this together now.
Over a year.
Over a year.
And we did change it when we added our sign that we got from Amy and Brett.
Yep. But so we've been in this same.
And it has another set of.
I know what we can do. We can change seats.
There you go.
That'll change it entirely.
How would you get in there?
Very carefully. And slowly.
This room, aside from being our studio, I use it as a staging place for all the different projects that I have going. One of which is getting ready to have shelves built to extend my kitchen into what was a breakfast nook. So I have all kinds of kitchen stuff around here. So, ooh, just finished making peppermint bark. Oh, I love peppermint bark. I wish you could too, CD.
That'd be good. Yeah, we do shoot for relaxed, actually, by the way, so.
That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Going green, Mom. We might play with it. Who knows? It was just a thought. Just a thought.
Biggest problem is if we did that, half of the background you would see is our CD collection, and the other half is viewing into the bird room, where there's a big window which would shine light directly into the camera.
Yep.
And if we went the other way, it would be the same problem too. Oh, Celtic, enjoy your pizza. We had wings last night and they were good. I'm going to have some for lunch today.
Yeah, I'll probably eat some more. Well, not right now, but I'll have some more of those wings too.
So then I won't eat all of them.
Well,
we had 8 left. You and I each had 6 last night.
Okay. Well, 6 for me and 2 for you.
Okay, I'll eat my 2 or 3 and you'll get the rest. Oh, cool. Coffee on the French press.
And French press. That's good. Here's my French press right here.
We have 3. I use 2 of the 3 all the time. Well, actually, Celtic, I went down to Wingstop. It was not air fried, but I did get my air fryer yesterday.
Yesterday, she got her air fryer. So
yeah, and I set it up and did the first run through. It says you're supposed to run it through at least a couple of times to burn off anything in there. And I have to run it outside until it's gone through that because I don't want it to harm the birds.
Yep.
Project, you just showed your airplane. There goes another drink. Oh, I'm sorry, Eli. That's too bad. You perked your coffee, Suzanne? Abby's making us some coffee now. Oh. But I bet she's not using the French press, is she, Amy? I'll tell you what, it got a lot of work out when I was there. It probably will again. You have a Keurig. Yeah. I have the Keurig out in the garage.
I'll tell you,
in the group of things
how many people retire there? How many people retire their Keurig because it's not good enough?
Right. Someone mentioned coffee, and now we have to have some. Love fish and chips frozen much better than oven.
Okay.
You mean done in the air fryer better than in the oven? Amherst, our Keurig was gifted to us too, and it was really funny because my sister bought it for us at a local thrift store. We got it home, and it just wouldn't work. It had a weird problem. So I called Keurig to find out what was wrong. And there was a piece that was missing, and they sent it to me for free. So it's great. I loved it until I found French press.
Yep.
Daughter made coffee. You don't drink it.
I don't trust people that don't drink coffee.
You're going to what?
I don't trust people that don't drink coffee.
I just feel
That's
sorry
not
for
true.
them.
That's not true.
Actually, CB, I went Keurig and then went to my first French press. I had the Keurig. It's out in the garage, packed in a box.
And there's also an espresso machine out there that I've had for probably 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
It would still work if I wanted to take the time to set it up. Yeah. And see, back in the day, the way that my coffee, when I went to work in the morning, was the night before, I'd set up a drip coffee maker with an alarm or, a timer. And it would go off so that my coffee would be ready just about the time I was finished getting dressed and stuff. And I also had an espresso machine there. So I would go in and turn on that espresso machine, which took all of maybe 5 or 6 minutes. And I would have that as my base. And then the rest of it would be my pot of coffee. And this went into a 32-ounce mug, kind of like that one. And that's what I went to work with every day. And that was my coffee. So it was espresso and really strong regular coffee mixed together. And it was pretty potent. It was pretty potent. Of course, I had to do that. I was forced to do that because the doctor said I was drinking too much coffee. So I cut down to 1 cup a day.
There you go. Well, I use the strongest or the boldest flavored coffee I can find, which is really quite good. And I have a coffee scoop. You're supposed to use 1 level scoop to make a pot of coffee, and I use a scoop and a half. And the full scoop is down to 1.5, so it's probably pretty close to 2 scoops. And it's wonderful. I love it. I get up in the morning, come out here and make coffee, make my pot of coffee, and come sit down and look at my emails before I do anything else. Nobody talks to me. The birds are not allowed up. The dog and cat are sent out the minute I get up. He's still asleep. And I sit here. My coffee mug is 26 ounces, 28 ounces? Do you remember? Not that one, the bigger one.
The bigger one, 24.
Okay. And I drink
24.
that one, and then later I'll have the second.
Creamer, French vanilla for me.
And I like sweet Italian cream.
So, yeah.
But I'll drink 2 of those in the morning, and then I'll drink usually iced tea or water in the afternoon, and then at night after dinner I start on coffee again, and I'll drink coffee right up till time to go to bed. Matter of fact, I almost always have a cappuccino before I go to bed. A nighttime evening coffee drinker. Yep. I'm a 24-hour day coffee drinker. If I'm awake, I want some coffee. Amber's, I also use regular cream if I'm out of my Italian sweet cream.
If I'm out of stuff, I'll take half and half. Works good for me, too. I like half and half. But I like coffee-flavored coffee. Yeah, there you go. Pumpkin spice gets a bad rap. It's pretty good stuff, If
I'm in the mood,
I'm only going to drink it, for a month out of the year. But, pumpkin spice isn't bad. But the best of it is what you pick up at these damn quick shops,
Good for you, single man. I would, too.
Found a new doctor. Yeah, there you go.
French roast and espresso.
Yep. There's but then see, I've been drinking coffee since I was just a baby. My dad.
Me too.
When I was a little kid, my dad percolated his coffee, and oh my God, it was potent.
Like syrup.
Yeah, but he'd make his coffee, and then of course he had a cup and saucer. That was his generation. So he would take and pour a little bit in that saucer, and that's what he'd give me. And I'd sit there, blow on it, and then I was drinking coffee with my dad.
Right, Christy.
Drinking
Mine
coffee
was
with
my
dad.
grandfather. would take me, and they served a little restaurant we went to served creamer in these little 1 ounce containers, little glass containers. And he'd pour most of it into his coffee cup and stir it up, and then he'd spoon a little bit back into the creamer and hand me the creamer bottle, and that was my coffee. And I was 2 at the time.
Yep. It's funny how
Coffee
you
does
remember
not
that
keep me
stuff.
awake.
Me neither. Caffeine never has.
If I need to go to sleep, I'll have a cup of hot coffee and it'll put me to sleep. But usually all I have to do is just sit still.
That's pretty much true.
If
She
I sit
stops for
still,
5 minutes, she'd fall asleep standing up.
I just don't sit still very long, because if I do, I'm sound asleep.
She's gone. Speaking of gone,
Hmm?
I said, speaking of gone,
Mm-hmm.
it's about time to sign off.
Is it? Okay. Take care, Celtic.
Let these folks get, oh, you could do that some more though.
Yeah, I
okay.
thought you'd stay if I started scratching your back. Christy, you didn't start drinking coffee until you were 32? You poor thing. You were
Now
deprived.
you're gonna have to live to 90 just to catch up.
Amber Rose, we are from Central South Texas. Are you going green, Mom? I'm going to scratch David's back so he'll stay a little longer.
It's working.
Huh?
It's working.
I thought so. CB's from Ohio. You thought we were from Texas? Do we sound like Texas? Now I'm going to put him to sleep. Brett says he's from the Hurricane Apocalypse town.
Oh boy.
Better quit,
Use
huh?
my sweetie. Use my sweetie. Thank you.
You thought,
Oh, I'm going to
He
go.
might,
She'll
but I'll stay here.
It's just we don't often.
keep scratching him, Kate. Coffee's not done yet. Well, I'll be here for a while more, Amy.
Yeah, she's not leaving.
I don't have somebody going at 10 o'clock to me. Poor besides, we get on their live stream and I moderate for them. And
Yeah, they.
when we first started moderating, all I had was an hour. Amy says, have a good one.
Thank you. And now their live stream seems to go at least an hour and a half, 2 hours now.
Mhm. And I stay most of the time. Sometimes I just
Well, you were
get to the
saying the
point
other
where I
night
need to go.
they had over 40 people there at one point.
Yeah.
On Thursday night.
Whole
That's
bunch
great.
of them. It was
Well
a
done,
wonderful
Sarge.
show.
Well done. You guys have got a good following. Good folks.
Anyway, back to what I was saying is when I started moderating for them, all I had that night was 1 hour, but it's since changed. So they come on at 8, and when it gets towards 10 o'clock, I'm getting a little late, and I'm getting sore from sitting on these hard chairs. I tell them it's 10 o'clock, so they know it's time to close, time to go. Thank goodness they don't take offense at that. The longest they've ever gone is 3 hours. 3 hours is a long live stream, but it was a wonderful one. Yes, we feel the same way, Amy. Our live streams are like yours. Lots of good people, lots of friends, and good company.
Just hanging out.
Yep. Yeah. I think I started moderating for them on their first or second live stream. I don't remember for sure which, but
Who, for the Broussards?
Mhm.
That early on, huh?
oh yeah.
Hmm.
But I've stuck with them the whole time because it's just always so much fun. I love to see what Brett is going to do next. I don't think I'll ever forget him dancing.
Dancing?
Yeah. Amy says, don't forget to take your elderberry syrup. Amy, I have to get it for you.
Yeah, she'll get it for me.
But yes, I will remember.
I'll see y'all later.
Yeah, one year they were, what was it? There was boats or something. Anyway, we taunted him into dancing for us. It was a lot
You
of
ready to
fun.
come in there, pup? Come on, Nacho.
He's bringing in
Oh,
the dog.
Mr. Blue. Hello, Mr.
I don't remember how I discovered them, but I know that I talked to Brett, and then we ended up with me doing some moderating. Christy, I thought you were Daddy Kirk's professional secretary. Well, I was sort of his secretary for about 5 years. He would forget things all the time, and I was the one that would remember. Yes, last year for Halloween, it was hysterical. It was so funny. But it was amusing and amazing at the same time. My goodness, according to this, we've got 28 people here. Wow, that's amazing. Christy, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but I went over and saw I went over and saw Blake and did a